I was banned from the Vipassana community entirely. Well, this is not my story. It's a story which I read just recently in a post, and it brought me to some thoughts about yoga and Vipassana meditation. Hi, namaste. My name is Evgenia, and here's the talk. The story goes that this young yoga and sound healing teacher was on her, obviously, second Vipassana retreat, and as soon it was finished, the organizers approached her and told her that she should not go to any Vipassana retreats anymore, and not only in their center but in the entire Vipassana network. That was quite a shock for her, and that's very understandable. I have a deep compassion towards her. I mean, yeah, that must be quite traumatizing, especially coming out of silence, suddenly being confronted with such a strong thing without being given an explanation, a satisfactory explanation. So the explanation was that combining the practices would be dangerous for her, because obviously they studied her website and what she was doing in practicing otherwise. And yeah, the only explanation was it was dangerous. Well, how can that be dangerous? The actual topic it brings me to is we need to know what we are practicing. I've been looking into the Vipassana before, and I've never been to a Vipassana meditation retreat. And as I was looking into it, I realized that it is not in line of what I am practicing and believing in yoga. And that's why it rang my bell. The story rang my bell, and I had to read a little bit more into it and again look into it to again bring to the surface what was not in line for me then. And it brings a problem of the availability of all the different practices we have in the modern world, that we have a large buffet of things we can do. We can practice this yoga, this meditation, that meditation. We can practice breath work, sound healing, whatever healing. But then we forget that many of these things, not all of them, some of them are very modern, but the others, they have a tradition. And if you go to a place where the tradition is honored, then you go to a place where you go to get not only relaxation, stress relief, your commodities of wellness which you want to achieve, or maybe just calm of your mind, but you are supposed to go there to search for the final goal which this particular method offers. Now let's look at these methods. I mean, we are talking about yoga now, we're talking about sound healing, and we're talking about Vipassana. Each of these methods, they have some kind of realization and liberation, recognition as their final goal. So obviously they're all, in a traditional sense, spiritual practices. By practicing yoga, whatever form or shape, asana, pranayama, meditation, if you don't look at it as a commodity, you look at it as a way of realization. And the same if we look at sound healing, not like as I don't know much about sound healing, but I know about Nada yoga just a little bit. And Nada yoga is one of the traditional ways of achieving liberation and recognition through the sound and the music. And the other one is Vipassana, which comes from a Buddhist tradition. Now, they all want you to recognize something, but the things you should recognize, they're completely, like, deeply different on a very high level. And I myself still don't like understand it fully, and I'm definitely not entitled to talk about it in a very deep sense. So what I'm saying is like on the surface, just scratching it. So let's start with yoga. Mainly, when we go to yoga teacher trainings, we study Patanjali, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, and the yoga of Patanjali is says that you achieve the liberation and the recognition when you see that there is Prakriti, the matter, everything which we think we are, and there is a Purusha, the higher consciousness, higher state of being. And they both are fundamentally separate from each other. This is what we call a dualistic view. Yoga of Patanjali is a dualistic system. So there are fundamentally things of matter, and there is fundamentally a higher consciousness. And by practicing meditation, practicing all the different things like yamas and niyamas and withdrawal of the senses, like all the steps of the Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali, we are supposed to recognize that staying in the matter is an illusion, that that there is a higher consciousness, that you are not that, you are not these things like you think you are, but there is a different thing, the higher consciousness. And we do it by seizing the fluctuations of our mind, the chitta, vritti, nirodha. Okay, this is the fundamentally dualistic view at the reality of things, at the reality of the universe, of everything. When you're practicing yoga according to Patanjali, this is the recognition you want to achieve. Now, yoga knows not only fundamentally like dualistic, but also the non-dual view, and like, for example, the Advaita Vedanta. And this non-dual view says that you can be you are soul, or you are, like they say, Atman, or there are different words for that. This is this self with a small s. Something individual, but it is as well beyond all the matter. And then there is the universal consciousness, what we can say like the universe, which is telling you things. This universal consciousness, the universal self, is the big S, self, the Brahman. And the non-dual view says that these two things, the small self and the big self, they're the same. The liberation and the recognition comes from realization that there is no duality in this world, that you are that you are the universe, that you are fundamentally the same like the universe. And this view, you see, it's completely different view, and I had to look at it, and I'm still not so sure, but you can say that, obviously you can say, that Nada Yoga, the yoga of sound and the music, it can be this part of the non-dual view. The recognition of like everything is universal, it's the same. And then let's go to the third part, and the third part is the Buddhist view. And when you are going into the deep silence and meditation, this is how you want to achieve the liberation through the recognition. And the recognition there is that self is an illusion like everything else. One of the main points of the recognition is there is no suffering and something else, and then there is no self. Okay, so the concept of the self itself is an illusion. I will not go deeper into that because I'm definitely not a Buddhist, or know very little, because I focus on the yogic philosophies, and for me it's definitely enough to try to see through the dualistic and non-dualistic view, and the concept of the no self is a different one. Okay, and now maybe you can recognize now that if somebody is practicing yoga on a deeper level, for example, for me myself, the non-dual view that everything is the same, that like I am God, the God is me, the like God being the universe. For me, this has a deep truth. So you see, I lean into the non-dualistic view, and I struggle with the Patanjali view. And this is already enough for me, and already like the inner processes which happen, trying to digest these things, trying to understand, but also especially trying to live them and feel them, and the actual process of the recognition, that's a lot. But then if you are not clear about your goal, your inner truth and the understanding, or at least not clear the path you should go, you see how that can lead not only to confusion, but is seen as dangerous. Because how can you like go into Vipassana if you really go with this aim of the recognition that you want to see that there is no self, you want to dissolve it completely, but then at the same time you're practicing the sound, music, whatever, and you want to recognize that you're part of the bigger self, that doesn't come together. You cannot do both things. Maybe you have to somehow choose a path. Maybe you can like say, oh, you practice this path for a while, and then you say no to this path because it doesn't work for you. But you cannot practice these things at the same time. If you are really practicing on a deep level, and when you really know what you're practicing, okay? So this is how I see that. This is how I understand for myself the point of view of this center, which said to that yoga teacher that she shouldn't go to the Vipassana anymore because mixing these methods can be dangerous for her. And yeah, maybe you can draw your own conclusions out of it. And my aim was to motivate you to look deeper into what you're practicing before you are committing to such strong things like Vipassana meditation, or you are committing yourself to a path. Maybe see where is the goal of this path. What does it want you to go to? Where does it lead you? What is the final destination of this path, whether you achieve it or not? But maybe practicing beyond wellness, commodity, relaxation, go deeper, study a little bit deeper. It's not difficult nowadays. So much information is there around. And I wish you clarity, and I wish you to find your own path. Namaste.